Hello and welcome to another holiday edition of Cracking the Cryptic. I'm on my laptop today. I hope that you can hear me. I hope the sound quality is not abysmal. I did bring my microphone from home, so I hope it's all right. Now, what am I going to be trying for you today with my holiday brain on? I'm going to be trying a puzzle that has been very, very heavily recommended. I think it only came out a few days ago. We've been inundated by requests to cover this one. It's called Siphon. And it's by Tallcat. And Tallcat, if you've ever done a Tallcat puzzle before, you will know Tallcat is not capable, it seems, of making puzzles that are anything other than excellent. And this one is a region sum line puzzle, so very beautiful it is too, with a lot of symmetry. But we'll get onto this in just a second or two. Before I read you the rules, just a big shout out to those of you who've been helping us to get towards 500,000 subscribers. We are really, really close. It is quite incredible. We've got a couple of things, a couple of specials lined up in lieu of that. One of them is that our book, Cracking the Cryptic Greatest Hits, is available for a discount at the moment. So if you want to get it, use the coupon code that's in the video description. We only have a few copies left, so do hurry if you want to get a copy of the physical book or even the PDF book, and use the coupon code to get the discount. And then, of course, we've got this incredible app we're going to be releasing if and when we hit 500,000 subscribers, with some of the puzzles basically by the great and the good of the Sudoku community, including Tallcat, of course. And who did I get a puzzle from yesterday? Christoph Seeliger. The day before that, I think I got one from Ard van de Wetering from the Netherlands. We've got Vistemavell, Clover. We've got an awful lot of brilliant puzzles coming. The app's going to be completely free. So if you're not a subscriber, you enjoy content and you want an awesome app, a free app of handcrafted Sudoku, then you know what to do and hit the subscriber button. We'd be most grateful and get us towards 500,000 subscribers. It is madness. Anyway, that said and done, let's have a look at Siphon, and I'll read you the rules. They are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits on blue lines have an equal sum n within each 3x3 box they pass through. Now the sum applies to each individual visit a line makes to a box, and different lines may have different sums. So let's have a look at this line here. Now, we can see within box 6 here, only 2 cells in box 6 are visited by the blue line, so those 2 cells will have a sum of something. We don't know what that is. But in box 8, you can see this blue line here visits box 8 in 3 cells, so those 3 green digits have to have the same sum as these 2 yellow digits, which in turn have to have the same sum as those 2 red digits in box 9, because the line continues, look, and it goes into box 9 in those 2 positions. I'm just wondering, the sum applies to each individual visit a line makes to a region. I think that's actually unnecessary here, because a line never seems to, this line, for example, doesn't exit box 4 and then come back into box 4 in anywhere else. So that line, actually, I might remove that from the instructions that we put on the side of the screen, if I remember. So don't worry if that instruction part of the instructions is not there. I don't think it's necessary. Do have a go at the puzzle. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. And now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And the first thing I'm seeing here, besides the absurdly symmetrical nature of the puzzle around the central column, look, you can see the only things breaking the symmetry are this 3 and this region sum line, which doesn't have an equivalent on the other side of the grid. It's startlingly well put together, this. Now I can see that cell and that cell have to be at least equal to 7 in that case, because let's look at this cell. This cell is the sum of those 3 digits, so it operates a bit like a Sudoku arrow, if you've ever seen one of those. These digits all have to be different. Therefore, the minimum they could be would be a 1, 2, and a 4, which means this cell is at least a 7. So that's got to be 7, 8, or 9. Now on this side, it's slightly less good. This could be a 1, 2, 3 triple. So that could be 6, 7, 8, or 9. Now, is there any? If there's a 3 in here, does this? This is 9. It could be 1, 2, 6, or 2. No. Okay, if this is 9, it's got to be 1, 2, 6. If it's 8, so there is a 1 on this line, definitely. Because if it's 7, it's 1, 2, 4. If it's 8, it's 1, 1, 2, 5. Because it can't be 1, 3, 4. And if it's 9, it can't be 2, 3, 4 or 1, 3, 5. So it's 1, 2, 6. So in fact, there's a 1 and a 2 on this line, which is weird. I'm just going to check that. 7, 1, 2, 4, yes. 8, 1, 2, 5, 9. Yeah, that's right. So there's a 1 and a 2 on this arrow. Well, not arrow, this region sum line. Now over here, well, this is a, yeah, okay. So there's no corresponding cleverness we can do in these 3 cells. Because 9, well, it could be 1, 2, 6, but it needn't be. It could be 2, 3, 4 or 1, 3, 5. 8 could be 1, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 5 over here. So we don't yet know what that's doing. Now, the most useless and inadequate region sum lines are region sum lines like this one, where you have sort of a single sum cell here. So this digit is the same sum as those two, is the same sum as those two. I just don't see what we can do with that. Similarly with this, you know, you've got a 2-cell sum here, adding to be the same as a 3-cell sum. And there's just so many possibilities. These digits could be really low. I suppose they have to add up to at least 6, but they could be 6, they could be 17, they could be an 8-9 pair. So there's an awful lot of things these 3 digits could add up to. But this is horrible actually, because now I'm noticing these sort of strands here are also 2 digits here, summing to 3 digits, summing to 2 digits. So maybe we're meant to use the secret, are we? Well, okay, so I can tell you, if you know the secret, you will know this already, but those 6 digits there, I know the sum of those digits using the secret. Now the secret is something I only tell my very favourite people, but if you're watching this video, if you're watching me flounder away with my holiday head on, you're definitely in my set of favourite people. The secret of Sudoku is that the digits 1 to 9 sum up to 45, and therefore we can use the rules of Sudoku to tell us the sum of these digits here, because that's a complete box of the puzzle, which we know must contain the digits 1 to 9 once each. So I know that all the digits in that box sum to 45. But I know from the region sum lines rules that those 3 digits add up to those 2. Those 3 add up to those 2, and those 3 add up to those 2. In other words, the yellow digits must also add up to 45. Now, that is actually surprisingly pressurized, isn't it? Because, well, especially with these digits being in row 6, because the maximum those 3 digits could be would be a 7, 8, 9 triple, which adds to 24. Which means that these 3 digits in yellow have to add up to at least 21, but we can't make these 2 entries invalid. So there's some sort of thing going on in this row, I think. These have to add up to at least 21, but they can't add up, for example, to 24, because if this was a 7, 8, 9 triple, that cell would be impossible. So the maximum these 3 digits add up to is 23, which means the minimum these 3 digits add up to is 22. Just wondering if there's some way we can do better than that. Maybe I've got to think about this as a quintuple. If we look at all those cells together and say what's the maximum value that I can make all of those cells, it's going to be 9, 8, 7, 6 and 5, which add up to 35. So these can add up to a maximum of 35. But these have to add up to a minimum of 21. So these can add up to a maximum of 14, I want to say. And that gives us a digit. Wow. That's really weird and rather wonderful. These 3 digits here. Yeah, so it is I think helpful. We add up all 5 of those digits. We say maximum they can be is 35. The minimum these can be is 21. So the maximum these can be is 14. Now this digit, what if it was not a 6? If this digit is not a 6, the minimum it could be is 7, but we'd be adding 8 to that, and we'd get 15. Now here is a knowledge bomb. 15 is higher than 14. So this has to be 6, and that's going to do stuff in the bottom 3 rows, because now that has to be a 1, 2, 3 triple. Combined with our logic that we did in box 7, where do 1 and 2 go in this row? They've got to go in those cells, which are on these lines, but spread out over 2 of the 3 of them. 6. So, okay, let me think about this now. So the minimum these can be is 21. Right, okay. That is not a 9 anymore. Because how could we make those 3 digits add to 21 without using 9? Well, the only way would be if they were 8, 7 and 6. And 8, 7 and 6 is impossible because we've just put a 6 here. So there is a 9 in these 3 digits, which means there is not a 9 here, which means that this is either 1, 2, 4, or not 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 4. Right, okay, let's pencil mark this. 1, 2, 4 or 1, 2, 5. And the expression we're looking for here is bobbins. That doesn't do anything. Or maybe it does somehow in these 3 digits. So hang on. These digits can be 7, 8, 9, which forces these to be adding up to 21. If these were, say, let's say these were 6, 8, 9, adding to 23, these would add up to 22. Ah, and they can't add up to 23 anymore. Right. So these 3 digits either add up to 21 or 22, because they can't add up to 23 because they'd have to be 6, 8 and 9, and that won't work. And they can't be 7, 8 and 9 because that will break this cell. So these 3 digits either add up to 21 or 22. I know which one I have those I hope it is. Or do I? I was going to say I hope it's 22, because then I'd know that they were 5, 8 and 9, and that would be a 7. But then then I would know these would be 6, 8, 9, so that would be fine actually. If they add up to 21, unfortunately, I think things become more difficult, because 21 in 3 digits could be 4, 8, 9, which would mean if we were going to pencil mark these cells, we would have to be getting into the realms of pencil mark himself in order to do that, because these digits would all have 6 options. Well, no, I suppose 5 options, because the 6 isn't available. I'm reluctant to do that and make pencil mark giggle away to himself. So how, well, that's probably the question. How do we prove this is not 21? I do not know. There's something here, isn't there? There's some sort of, delicate balance we can find between this sum and these 3 cells, the yellow cells in rows 5 and 6. Although maybe actually I can think about this column. I'm just thinking about parity actually. I can tell you something about those 3 digits, which might be very dull, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. Those 3 digits are odd. And the reason they're odd is to do with the secret and a little bit of maths. Yellow, whatever yellow adds up to in this column, I know is the same sum as those 3 digits. So let's say these 2 digits add up to x. Well, then I know this line adds up to 2x. But if this line adds up to 2x, those digits sum to an even number, because 2x is definitely even, because it's divisible by 2. Now, if these are even, 4 is definitely even. That means these 6 digits are even, which means these 3 digits, in order to make sure that the whole column adds to 45, which is an odd number, those 3 digits have to be odd. So I wonder whether that's the point. What's maybe... Just wondering what's the minimum sum. If this was 9, 8 here, 9 and 8, 17, so this would be 17, that would be 34, this would be 38. That doesn't work because then these green cells would have to add up to 7 to get the column to 45, and that would have to be a 1, 2, 4 triple. So this is not 9, 8. If it's 9, 7, this would be 16, 32, 36. These would add up to 9 without using 4. So they'd have to be either 1, 3, 5 or 1, 2, 6, and they'd have to have a 1 in them. Or maybe the point, maybe that's the point. Maybe there's got to be a 9 in here. If there's no 9 in here, then this would be 7, 8 maximum. This would be 30 maximum, 34. Those would, oh no, that's fine. They would add up to 11, and 11 in 3 cells, even if you can't use a 4, is very, very... well, it's not complicated to do that, is it? Okay, all right, I'm going to come back, I think, to these yellow cells again and have another think about these. So we know that these 3 cells add up to either 21 or 22. So I must, okay, so these 3 cells either add up to 24 or 23. Oh, okay, hang on. So these are either 6, 8, 9 or 7, 8, 9. And they definitely right, here's something. They definitely have 8 and 9 in them, for sure. So my pencil marking here is dreadful. But what I'm trying to indicate is that within row 5 there is an 8 and a 9 in 2 of these 3 cells. And within row 6 there is a 9 in one of those 3 cells, and actually possibly an 8 as well, but we don't know that. Now that means, if we think about row 5 and row 6 collectively and ask how many 9s we anticipate there being in those 2 rows, well, how many 9s do we think there'll be in row 5? 1. How many 9s do we think there'll be in row 6? 1. So there are 2 9s in these 2 rows, and yet we know that there are 2 9s in yellow, because we know there's a 9 in one of those 3, and we know there's a 9 in one of these 3. Now that means that there can be no more 9s in row 5 and row 6, because otherwise there would be a third 9. So none of those red cells can be 9. So let's just take a look at that for a moment and see if that sheds light upon the world. And the answer to that is... no, I've just noticed neither of these could have been 9 anyway, actually, because this digit plus this digit equals that digit. So if you put 9 there, that's got to be at least 10. Okay, no, I'm not convinced about that. Oh goodness, am I going to have to go back to pencil marking these digits here? That's what I'm worried about now. That's interesting. Right, here is a small point. These 2 digits, and therefore those 2 digits, cannot be a 9-8 pair. Because if they are a 9-8 pair, what does this have to, how do we make this total work? You can't, it's got to be an 8-9 pair. Yeah, that's lovely. Right, so that means well, I'm not sure what that means, but that's definitely put pressure on this box. Because if you can't put 9, 8 pairs in those cells, and you can't put 9, 8 there because we worked out that gave us a problem in column 5, then none of these yellow not dominoes, but you see what I mean, none of these 2-cell yellow strings can add up to the maximum possible value of 17. Now that means that their maximum possible value is 16. And if their maximum possible value is 16 for these stripes, well, that's tricky, isn't it? So we could have a 16, and then the other cells would have to add up to 29. But you couldn't. We know you can't go as high as 17. So it's either going to be a 16, a 15, and a 14, or 2 16s and a 13. Ah, this is so clever. This is so clever. Right. I'm not sure, but I can rule out 2 16s and a 13 for you. Because how can we put 2 16s into each of these yellow sort of double duads? We can't, because for the same reason you can't put 17 in here, you can't put 16 either. If you put 16 in, it's got to be 9 and 7, and now this can't be 9 and 7. So these little struts here at the bottom are absolutely mighty in terms of ruling out certain combinations from the sort of flanks of the yellow cells. So hang on. So now I can't put 17 into any of these, and I can only put 16 into that one. So if this was 16, and the maximum size of either of these is 15, this would be 16, and one of these would have to be 15, and one of them would have to be 14 to make the box balance and add up to 45. The only other possibility, and this is what's going to happen, is that somehow these are all going to be 15. And if they're 15, yeah, that feels lovely, doesn't it? Because then this, if this was 6 9s, oh, it can't be 6 9. If that was 7 8, that would be 6 9. And we're avoiding the problem of there only being one way of making the sum, which we're running into with 16 and 17 here. So I am deeply suspicious that this is three strands of 15. How do we prove that? So this would be 15, these would be 15. Okay, now I'm prepared to pencil mark, because now we've worked out that none of those can be a 4, can they? He says. I'm just going to think about that. I think that's right, though. Because we've worked out that the maximum size of any one of these yellow duads is 16, and only one of them could be 16, it's not possible that we have a 13 sum anywhere here. Because if we have a 13 sum, even if we add the maximum to that, which we now know is 16, we'd have 13 and 16. Hang on, now I'm going mad. We'd have 13 and 16 is 29. Yeah, and then we need a second 16, which we know we can't do. So that's that does not work. It just does not work. So now these cells have to be from 5, 7, 8, and 9. For some reason I feel I do feel better about pencil marking that, actually immediately, because now I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in this row. Because now I've got, if we look here, these cells have all got to be selected from 4 different digits. So in fact, well, that's weird, because now one of these does have to be a 5 by Sudoku. And if one of them is a 5, and we know we can't make any of these dyads add up to less than 14, one of them is a 5-9 pair. So there is a 5-9 pair in one of these dyads. But that means there has to be... Oh, this is so beautiful. It's just beautiful. So let's go through this. We've now worked out there is a 5-9 pair because we know that the minimum sum we can get is 14 in a dyad. We can't go below that, or we need 2 16s, which we can't have. But once we know we've got 1 14, we haven't got 3 15s in here, so we must have a 16 and a 15. And we know the only one that can be 16 is this one, because these two can't be 16. So this is 7 9, is I think what we've just established. And if that's 16, one of these is 5 9, which is going to have to be, I've got no idea how to... Well, this is massive, actually. This is massive, because if one of these is 5 9, the 5 is at the bottom of it. So the 9 is at the top of it. And that means that cell's a 7, which means that's a 9. And we can start to get rid of some stuff here. We can get rid of 9s from these, that we know there's a 5 in one of these two squares. I'll put that in like that. I know there's a 9 in one of those two squares. And I know that the other... Oh, this is the other domino, is a 7 8. Oh, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful, because not only that. Right, let's continue our logic. We've worked out this is the 16. We know one of these is a 5 9 adding to 14. So the other, in order to make the world balanced and balance the force, must be a 15 to make this add up to 45. Now that 15 cannot involve a 9, because we've got a 9 here and we've got a 9 in the 5 9 pair. So there's no possibility of using a third 9 in the yellow cells. So the way we're going to get to 15 is with a 7 and an 8. How could the 7 and 8 be here? Well, they can't be, because that cell would have no value. So this is 7 and 8, and that's a 7. So that's a 7, that's an 8. This is 9, this is 5. This is 8. So if this is 8, this is now 1, 2, and 5, I want to say. Right, and that's doing something in row 8, isn't it? Because that's 1, 2, 3, 5 quadruple now. Yes, okay. So if this is a 1, 2, 3, 5 quadruple, where is the 3 in that quadruple? Well, it's there, so that's not a 3. Where is the 5 in that quadruple? Here. So that's not a 5, and that's a 1 2 pair in this row now. So 3 by Sudoku is in one of those cells, because there's a 3 here. Remember, I'll put the pencil mark in actually on the corners. Now what do we do? Don't know. Oh, I do know, actually. I do know. That's adding up to 15. So this is adding up to 15, and it can't be 7 8. So that's a 6 9 pair, I think. So 8 in box 9 is now in one of 2 places by Sudoku. I think there might be some Sudoku to do now. I'm just seeing sort of opportunities to put like corner pencil marks in. So let's just take that option while we've got it. I suppose, yeah, I can do this as well, because although this is 9 5, which is 14, that can't be a 5 9 pair, so that's got to be a 6 8 pair. So 6 is now, we can pencil mark in row 7. 6 can't go there, so it's got to go in one of these. 6 8. 8's got to be up here in box 1 by Sudoku. Okay, now I'm stuck. But I tell you what, the other thing I think is interesting about this is that all of this delicate balancing act has been entirely done with the bottom 5 rows of the grid. Well, I suppose actually, did we? No, I did use the given 4 as well, actually. I'm aligning this 4 unfairly. That did allow me to rule out 9 and 8 from here, didn't it? So actually, not quite. all but the bottom 5 rows of the grid. Oh, but now I know what the green adds up to, of course. Because if that's 16 and that's 16, that's 32, that's 4 is 36. They add up to 9 without using 4. So this is either 135 or 126, which means there's no 1 at the bottom of the grid. There's a 1 in green, which I'll do. Oh, do I want to do that? I will do it. Hopefully I'll remember. Oh, there's no 8 in. Yeah, this adds up to 9, these 3 digits. You can't put 8 in there. This is again, it's just gorgeous, because now there's an 8 in one of those squares, which is adding up to a single digit total in box 2. So that single digit total, which is 8 plus another number, must be a 9. There must be a 9 in one of these, there must be a 1 in one of these, and that cell's not a 1. So the 1 has shifted up. These cells can't be 1 anymore, because there's a 1 in one of those digits, or one of those cells. So, right, and I'm just going to ask where 8 goes in this column. And the answer is, I don't know. But it's got to be in one of those 3 cells, doesn't it? Because it can't be in the green. So if there's an 8 down here in a 3-cell sum that's adding to 16, we need 2 more digits that add up to 8, and they're not 1, 7. So this is either 835 or 826. Either 835 or 826. Which makes me want to say that digit is an 8. I think this might be a naked single. I think probably what I might have had to do here is to... yeah, in fact, look at row 8. Where do 4 and 7 go in this row? Well, they seem to have to go in those 2 squares, because they can't go in this column. So this square, yes, this is it. This is the simpler way of seeing all of this. This square by Sudoku is 6, 8, or 9. We know it's not 6 because we've got this arrangement of 6s here and here, and we know it's not 9 by simple Sudoku. So that is 8. 8 comes out of those 2 squares. This cell gets determined, that's 6, that's 8, that determines the 6 and the 9 over here. That determines the 8 in box 9 by using Sudoku of all things. Outrageous of Tallcat to make me do Sudoku in his Sudoku puzzle. Now, does that mean I know what these digits are now? So if this was 826, it would have to be a 6 here and a 2 here. If it's 835, it's got to be that way round. So up here now we know nothing. We know nothing more, because whatever's not used down here will simply slip up to the greens and go up there and join the 1 in order to make the greens add up to 9. Okay, hang on a second though. We must be able to do... I feel like this whole stuff, this whole arrangement at the bottom must be virtually finished now. He says, can we, on the other hand, well, I suppose we've got this 4-7 pair here. Maybe that's the way to think about it. Or the fact we've got a 1 in one. Can the 1 go with the 4? If that's a 1, these add up to 4. These would add up to 13. So if this is a 1, that's got to be a 9 or a 6, which might be okay. If that's a 1, we've got to add up to 15, and we need... I can't use the 4 then, because that's going to require that cell to be a 10. So we'd need 1. Ah, that's it. Right, okay. That's not a 1. This cell here cannot be a 1 because this domino then needs to add to 14. It's lovely. It's just simple, isn't it? Because 4 and 10 doesn't work and double 7 doesn't work, so that's not 1. Goodness me. So this is 1, but that doesn't determine this digit because that digit's either now 6 or 9. We know this domino adds to 13. It does. Oh, look, though. It does tell us which of these struts is correct. That's not. This can't be the 1-8 pair now. And if that can't be the 1-8 pair, that can't be the 9. And the 9 must be over this side with an 8 here and a 1 here. So these digits add up. Oh, these digits add up to 9, and they can't be 6, 3, 7, 2, or 8, 1. So that is a 4, 5 pair. These squares have got to be a 1, 2, 3 triple. This cell is definitely not a 9. Can that cell be a 9? That would make these digits add up to 9. Maybe. I'm not sure. That might be possible. So, what do we know now? We know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now I was going to see if there was some sort of way we could learn something about these 3 cells, but I'm not sure that there is. If this is 4, these 2 digits have to add up to 11, and they couldn't be 4, 7, 3, 8, or 2, 9, so they'd have to be 5, 6. Is that broken? Don't think so. I think that could be 6 and that could be 5. If this is 7, though, these have to add up to 8 without being 1, 7, so they would either be 2, 6 or 3, 5. This is not going right, is it? So that would be 3 or 6. Oh, 3 or 6. Oh, so is this always a 3, 6 pair? Hang on, I don't trust this at all, what I've just done there, so I'm just going to think about that again. If this is 4, this has to add up to 11. It can't be 3, 8, can't be 4, 7, can't be 2, 9. So this would be 5, 6, and the 6 would be here. If this is 7, these have to add up to 8, and they can't be 1, 7, so the 3 or the 6 has to go there. So this is always a 3, 6 pair in that cell, so therefore a 9, I think. Which means that cell's a 4, that cell's a 7. Which means that these are adding up to 8, which means that that is a 2 or a 5. Oh, I see. Okay. So this is a 2, 5 pair in the bottom row, and this is a 3, 6 pair in row 7. And along the bottom, oh, we can place 9 by Sudoku. That's got to be a 9. Those 2 squares have got to be 4 and 7, I want to say, which means this cell is a known digit. That's got to be a 5. These cells are known. They're a 4, 7 pair. And for our next trick, we will declare that 9... Oh, okay, I can place 9 in box 1, actually, because 9's been shunted over here, where it can't go there by Sudoku, and it can't go here, because this cell would have to be at least a 10, so 9 goes at the top of the grid. Oh, and the same thing happens here using, look, 9 is in one of those 2 squares. That's going to resolve the 9 here. If you put 9 here, this has to be at least a 10. So that's got to be 9, that's got to be 9. How many 9s have we got? All of them. This is adding up to 9. It's not 4, 5. So this is either 1, 8, 2, 7, or 3, 6. Doesn't seem to be much pressure on those digits at the moment. 5 in this box is under pressure, though. It's got to hide in that cell against the border. So this cell is 1, 2, 3, or 4. It looks like we're sort of getting into 1, 2, 3, and 4 world in column 8, doesn't it? Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, I've just spotted something slightly embarrassing. Where does 4 go in box 5? And the answer is there. It's the only place it can go. So 4 goes in there. 4 goes in here in box 6 as a result of that. That cell's not 1, look. 4 is in one of 2 places in box 4. And we can use this. Do I know what this? No, I still don't know what the greens are. Oh, and I see, and I've got the same thing going on in column 6 actually. Okay, so now maybe we're getting stuck. What else can we do? We need to put... Okay, right, that's interesting. Look at this box. We've not put 2, 3, 5 and 6 into it. Well, we can't put 5 and 6 in this domino because that will be an 11. So this square has got to be a 5 or a 6. But that still means we've got to put a relatively high digit into this square. And also these squares have got to be from 1, 2 and 3 now. Because if this is 5, that's a 1, 3 pair. If this is 6, this is a 1, 2 pair. But yes, okay, the minimum value we can make this domino now would be a 5 and a 2. So 5 and 2 would be 7. So this is 7 or 8. Which I was hoping would be... well, I was hoping that would be forced, but I don't think it is. Although that domino's now under a bit of pressure. Because if that's 8, that's got to be 1, 7. And if it's 7, it can't be 2, 5 or 6, 1. It's got to be 3, 4. Which feels like it might matter. Is that worth pencil mark? It probably is. Let's put that in. So if this is 1, 7, that fixes this as a 4. If it's 3, 4, it fixes that as 7. Okay, that's not surprising. This column needs to have a 2 in it, which now has to be in these cells. And sorry, you might actually have seen that, but I'm recording this in my room at the holiday house, and we just had a little visitor. So little visitor has disappeared, and we can continue with the puzzle. We got a 2 in this column, didn't we? And therefore that's not a 2, or indeed a 3, because we've got a given thing there. So we've got a 1 here. We've got a not a 1 there. We've got not a 1 here. Oh, that's actually lovely as well, because now there's a 1 in one of those cells, a 1 here, so the 1 is now placed on the arrow up there, which means that's got to be a 1, 7 arrow, not a 3, 4 arrow, and therefore it adds up to, you've guessed it, 8. So now, well, if that's 1, 7, that's 7, that's 4, so that's 4 by Sudoku. One of these is 4 by Sudoku. Now we know in theory what those 2 digits are. They are 2 and 3, I think. So, look, there's a 2, 3 pair in row 5, which makes this have to be a 6. And if that's a 6 and it adds up to 8, that's the 2, and that disambiguates the 2 and the 3 we've just got. Good grief, that's 3, that's 2, that's 1, I think. I think this is just Sudoku we're doing at the moment. That's become a 5, which we know must go with a 1, 3 pair to add up to 9. So that cell down there has become a 2. That's got to be a 6. That's got to be a 3. That's got to be a 5. And now that cell, I suppose, is a 2 by Sudoku. And probably we can do some work in column 4 where we need 5 and 7. Okay, no we can't. Or in this box where we need 2 and 6, we can do that. That's 2, that's 6. So 2, we don't know yet. 2 is in one of those 2 cells. 6 is, this is lovely. So 6 is placed here, which means that's a 3, which means that's a 3, which means we've got a 1, 2 pair here. The 4, 7 I've just realised is resolved. That's a 1. this has got to be a 7-8 pair, which is resolved. We can put 8 in the corner with a 7. That gets me the 7 and the 1 and the 3. And is that doing something? So, so 8 is now placed, 4 is placed, 2 is placed, 4 and 5 just unwinding pencil marks, not doing anything clever at all. That 7 is giving me the 7 and the 5. So that square's got to be a 6. And those two squares up there are 3 and 5, which... Oh, let's see. And there's the 3 that I never see because it's in black and it's a given digit. And I'm so not used to being given digits that basically I overlook them all the time. 1 and 2 go in there. And we need 6 and 7 and we can just fill them in. What a gorgeous puzzle that is. What an absolutely sublime puzzle. I love that. Start to finish, absolutely beautiful. Thanks so much for bearing with me. I hope the sound quality is all right, and I hope that you got to experience an absolutely magnificent puzzle. The balancing of this bottom sort of 5-row sequence is just majestic. The fact that you can see that the choices the constructors made are so finely balanced, you know, the knocking out 8, 9 from here, knocking out 16 and 17 from here, thereby forcing the way that these 3 strings can operate together to be relatively constrained. And then, you know, and then we knew there had to be a 5, and we knew the 5, I think we then proved the 5 had to be in a wing. I can't remember why the 5 couldn't be there. But I think we did justify that to ourselves. Yeah, it's just magnificent. Loved it, start to finish. Thanks very much, Tallcat. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.